Well, I was married. I lived in the South, and then my ex-husband now decided to just throw me to the curb, and so I ended up coming back here, which is where I was born. I have family here, so I stayed with my aunt, and things were fine for a while. I got a really good job, and then my world came crashing down when my dad died. And that was the hardest thing I've ever been through because I was very close to my dad. And I took him for granted. And I realized after that had taken a lot of people for granted, my family. I even took God for granted. And it was hard for me to focus. I couldn't really concentrate on anything. I was just overwhelmed with grief. And a week after my dad died, I lost the job for being too nice. They said that you were just too friendly. So after that, I just could not, I couldn't concentrate. And it was just economics. And then my whole life I had pretended to be something that I thought everybody wanted to be because my dad was a minister. So I put on a mask of, being this happy person in front of everybody, but on the inside I was dying. And so a combination of that and economics is what brought me here. No, I've never done drugs. I have drank once before, but I've never been drunk. I've never experienced anything like that. So coming to this place was different. Now I had been in a domestic violence shelter before. For a year and a half I was in hiding. And that's a whole nother, I didn't realize that was an addiction. I didn't realize that me choosing bad relationships was an addiction. But as I went through this program, that's what I came to realize, that I had made choices to, really bad choices in relationships. And it really destroyed my self-worth, my self-esteem. I didn't think anything of myself. I just thought, I'm no good. I'm the complete opposite of my sister. She has all this stuff in here. I have broken relationships. And, but then going through a marriage and getting divorced and having lost my children. I lost my son. He died shortly after being born. I had 3 miscarriages, and it's not what I had imagined it growing up. I had always wanted to have that perfect family like everybody, like every little girl dreams. But through different choices I made, that's not what happened. When I first joined the program, they asked me to join. I was like, well, okay. I didn't really think much about it because I thought, well, how can it apply to me, because I don't have alcohol or drug addiction. But I soon realized, like I said, dealing with bad relationships, bad choices that I made, that I couldn't blame on anybody else. I had to take responsibility for that. I had to take responsibility for taking advantage and taking for granted my family, especially, and hurting them verbally. And just, but as I went through the program, I had a lot of arguments with God, to be quite honest. I really did. I spent a lot of time, when I first started, I just kind of went through the questions. I was like, okay, this really doesn't apply to me. But then I got to the point where I was just like, God, something's got to change. I've got to change, and I need you to show me. And he started talking to me at 3 a.m. Every morning he woke me up, and I got so mad. I said, God, I am so sick and tired of you waking me up at 3. Why must you wake me up at 3? Why can't you talk to me during the day? Why can't you talk to me at a normal hour? And I just sat there and I cried, and I just felt him tell me, I'm God and I can talk to you anytime I want to. That's it. And from that point on, I was like, I started, I decided, okay, God, I'm just going to surrender it all to you. Everything. And it's okay to wake me up at 3 a.m, and he still does. And everything, and then as I went through and I just searching, I also realized that I hadn't dealt with grief. I had pretty much stuffed it down. It's been 21 years since I lost my son, and I still deal with that. But I know that everything that has happened, that God will use for his glory. That, that's my that's my desire, is that um, I can reach others, because I've gone through things that maybe you haven't gone through, and I can reach somebody that you can, and you can reach somebody that I can't. And when I finally started to come to grips with losing my dad, I realized I was reading his eulogy because I wrote it, and I was just reading it because I had written it, but I didn't really pay attention. And I just thought, what a legacy that man left me. Such a passion for God. He was not only a minister, but he was in the military, and then he became a deputy after he retired, and he preached to everyone, and I thought, what a legacy. And at the graduation, when I was speaking afterwards, my aunt was here, and she said, you know, you have your dad's passion, and you need to carry that on. And so that's my goal. I started seminary to not necessarily preach, but to reach those women, especially in domestic violence, that there is hope, that you are worth something. Because for a long time I didn't think I was worth anything, because I allowed myself to be in that situation, you know, where I was being abused mentally, physically, in every way. And so that's what I've learned. What I would say to people that were thinking about joining the program, it's not easy, but it's the best thing that you could ever do, because it is built on Christian beliefs, and without God as your foundation, there's just, you know, we try to do it on our own, but we fail. But we need Him in our lives, and going through this program would help you build that foundation, that relationship, and to grow. I'm Stephanie, and this is my story, and thank you for watching Overcomers TV.